Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stuff HD, the podcast. As usual, this is Javier, and in front of me, we have...
This is Equis.
Equis.
AKA Equis, I guess.
AKA Equis. I didn't do AKA stuff this time, but it is stuff. Y'all know that. I keep introducing you like one day there's going to be somebody else, and then it'll be worth it. You know, you'll be like, oh, holy shit, it's not Equis this time.
What? It's who would it be?
I don't know.
It's Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders might be in town and he might be bored. I don't know. Or maybe my friend Phil would like to join us one day, like he said he would, and he hasn't talked to me about it yet.
Or maybe we'll get the Trump in here.
No, that probably wouldn't happen.
Hey, it'll be entertaining.
It would. We'll get Trump and Bush. W, not obviously.
Bush and... no, we got to get Trump and Hillary in here.
Trump and Hillary. That'll be an interesting podcast. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
edit that out.
No. That can stay. Today we wanted to do a new segment called Tell Me Why. Okay. So this is a new segment where we both come up with a topic and we decide we got to write down a few, in this case 4. Okay, in this case we're doing 4 stores each that we think should come back. Now, I don't know if we'll have enough time to go through all 4, but the idea is you're going to tell me one, and you're going to tell me why it should come back. So these are stores that are either out of business or that we think are out of business, and they might not be.
Or the physical, anyways.
The physical, yeah. So, yeah, in some of these cases, they're still online. And then it'll be my turn, and we'll go like that. So, would you like to start, or should I start?
You start.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to start.
It's your show.
Exactly, you're the guest. You're supposed to... But anyway,
I want to learn from your mistakes.
It's like, I don't know what I'm... So anyway, my first store that I'm trying to convince people that should come back, even though I think that if it did come back, it would just go straight out of business. It would be Hollywood Video. I've only ever been to one Hollywood Video, and it was in Southside Milwaukee. And I'm thinking that this was a chain.
Yeah, because
they were a chain.
Yeah, because right? we did go once to like on 76th Street.
Were there more Hollywood Videos outside of Milwaukee? I don't know.
It's Hollywood. Hopefully there was.
I would hope so.
Maybe it was just like a local...
if you guys knew of a Hollywood Video by you, please let us know. Yeah. You can send an email to stuff@stuffhd.com or send me a message on Twitter or Instagram @realstuffhd. Anyway, so Hollywood Video. I used to, when I was younger, I used to love going there because... I don't know. Part of me was always a bit of a rebel, and going to Hollywood Video was not going to Blockbuster. Yeah. I hated Blockbuster. Their prices were bullshit in my mind. Although Hollywood Video was not that much better, but it was just different. And for whatever reason, I preferred the red colors of it, And I find that I found a lot of really good sales on Hollywood Video, including, and now I'm not totally sure, because I remember buying the Virtual Boy, but I don't think that was a Hollywood Video. I think that was actually a Blockbuster. But still, I did get a lot of good sales at Hollywood Video, and movie rentals I never really did that many, but yeah. But for games, it was pretty good.
And one thing I do remember about that is, I'm defending yours, is that their trade-in was better than because you can trade in your games.
See, I was never into trading games.
Yeah, but it was still crap though. But
instead of $150, they gave you $155.
The one good thing about it is that if you were cool with the peeps,
the
peepers there.
That sounds horrible. Like these guys are all peeping toms or something.
Anyways, if you're cool with them, like if you weren't sure about the game, you're like, hey, can I test this game? And they would like throw it up on the system. You play for like 30 minutes.
You could do that.
And then like if it wasn't too busy, you had to catch them at the right time. And then you can like see the game. If you liked it, then you would buy it.
Which you would think a lot of these places like the
Game Exchange,
GameStop that I hate would do that because they have the CDs open already. They're used.
Yeah.
So like just throw in a system. Let me play for a little bit.
Yeah.
Of course, then they'll be gathering crowds of people that just come to play the games, but. Who cares? It makes the store look busy. Look at Starbucks. They're always full of people that are not actually buying anything, but it makes the store look busy. And every once in a while, those people buy something. So who cares?
Yeah. Like, it just kind of reminds you of, like, I remember there was a McDonald's that had, like, a Nintendo 64. And the funny is, like, oh, yeah, that's a cool thing. But, like, once you think about it, like, all those greasy hands, and then it would just get damaged, like, after a month.
Yeah, it happens.
So, anyways, that's a good one.
But that's a system that's just out there without anybody actually looking over it. In this case, you just let the person play for a little bit and make sure they take care of it.
Yeah.
And totally unrelated, but I just remembered. I don't know if you remember what store it was, but there was a store where this little kid used to come every day to play with a Nintendo system. And I think it was a Wii or Wii U, and eventually the people at the store got together to buy him the system. It was a pretty cool story.
Yeah,
it just reminded me of that.
Yeah, it wasn't Hollywood Video.
No, it wasn't Hollywood Video. Just
it was in the shadiest part of town.
It was probably like a Walmart or something. Yeah, just this little kid. We used to go there every day to play, and
that's nice.
That was nice of them.
That's cool.
So anyway, but yeah, like I said, sadly, if Hollywood Video was to open up, they would probably go out of business because who the hell rents?
I think they would have to really change their business model.
I don't know. There's still something about there was something special about going to rent a movie.
Yeah.
And it's something that sadly kids don't get. I sound like a really old man now. But it's true. Like back in the day, at least for me, it was like a family thing. You would go with dad and mom and my brother and my sister. We would all kind of go to the video store and we had to. Yeah, it's like, okay, we're getting 2 movies, one for the adults, one for the kids. Like, yeah, you kids better figure out which one you want. And of course, the one they wanted wasn't there, so then you had to pick another one that wasn't there either. And eventually, you would go down to the very last thing that you wanted to see, and then they still had there. But
yeah, because like right now, like with Netflix, you kind of have all those movies available, and they to the point where you're like, you don't know what to watch.
Exactly.
And then if you go to like a rental store and you get the DVD, you kind of have to watch it because that's what you got. Like you paid for it, you better watch it.
Like on Netflix, there's so much content, so much that I just don't know. Like I look at the, all I can really do is look at the cover picture, and it doesn't. I don't know. I feel like I end up watching stuff on Netflix only if I already know that it's good because I already watched it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't find myself discovering a whole lot on Netflix. Unless I'm really, really bored. There have been those times when I really go deep into the menu and then you find a golden movie or something like Zombie Strippers or... Actually, I don't think that was ever on Netflix, but... sometimes I would go for the dumbest sounding movie, and sometimes they were actually pretty funny. Yeah. So anyway, back to the list. What would be your what do you have for me here?
Well, just like your choice, I'm pretty sure if this one came back, it would just go back to the store
back to chapters.
Yeah. So. I think all of these stores are pretty much in that.
They're pretty much all doomed.
But like, I'm gonna say Borders bookstores, which is kind of like less popular Barnes and Nobles. So this Barnes and Nobles is going out of business now. Like Borders for sure. The reason I like this just because of that, because it was not as packed as Barnes and Nobles. so you can easily find a table to just like sit down, chill, have a coffee,
and not buy anything.
Hey, I would buy like a magazine. Just that was me personally, because
Yeah.
that's how I feel. Like, okay, I'm gonna go there. Well, if you buy a coffee, then that's good enough.
Then you have the right to sit there.
But I would buy books there. Like sometimes, occasionally, I'll need a book for college, and I'll just buy it from there if I could. But I really like it, because it was like so low key that you would see a bunch of like college students there, like the smart ones, just go there and just because they're
bunch of hipsters. Is that what you're
probably? Nah, I don't know. Probably I don't know. I didn't talk to them. But it was kind of cool because like it wasn't too noisy. Like Barnes and Nobles were always too noisy, so there you kind of had more relaxed. I could just go there, take people and have like let's just chill at Borders bookstore.
In my case, I'm not a book guy. I don't read books. I just I read a ton online, which is why my eyesight sucks. But but actual books, I just don't really care for them. But yeah, when I hear about things like Barnes and Nobles maybe going out of business, I'm like, that's sad, because I have been to Barnes and Nobles, and every time I go into Barnes and Nobles, I'm like, man, this is nice.
Yeah,
even if you're just meeting up with friends and going to the coffee shop and just hanging out there for a bit, it's nice. It's nice to have that option. But then I actually thought of adding Borders to my list, but then I'm like, why would I want to come back? I don't read books. Like I'm not their best customer. I can't remember the last time I went into a Barnes and Nobles and actually bought something. Now that's also bad on me, because they have some very interesting books. It's just that people don't even think about books when like on a previous podcast, or maybe it's the next one, I don't know. I was talking to you about how I never know what to get my niece. I'm sure they have some really nice books that she would probably enjoy.
Yeah.
But personally, like I said, I'm not a book guy, so I don't think, oh yeah, books, I should give somebody a book.
Yeah, and the other reason I want them to come back is because they owe me a book.
Okay.
All right, so there was a time where I kind of like I like comic books, but not comic books. They were graphic novels. All right, so they had
comic books.
They had the street. Yeah, they were like Street Fighter comic books.
Okay.
But they were like
an actual novel type.
Yeah, but they were like comic book, like drawn, like kind of, but they were like big books. And it was basically a bunch of like comic books in one book. So they kind of consolidated it. So I had the first part, and then I had the second part, and I pre-ordered my third part, which was supposed to come out, right as Borders went bankrupt. So like I get by email saying, due to Borders closing down, we will no longer be able to fulfill your book order.
You really have had shitty luck with pre-ordering.
Yeah. So I don't even remember they gave me back my money. I hope they gave me back my money. I was like, no, and then I just never got that book. I'm pretty sure they have it at Barnes and Nobles now, but I haven't because I really don't care now. But
and let's face it, if you really did care, you would just go to Amazon, type in the name, and look for it, and get it in 2 days.
And all I know, it was the blue one, because I had the red, the black. I just needed the blue one. So they owe me a book. So come back just for the book, and you can go back.
But yeah, I'm not sure that they would definitely not survive either. No. Like there's barely. Like, is Barnes and Nobles actually going out of business?
No, I think they're like sustaining for now.
Right.
But they're like very like
I said, it's one of those stores where I don't go very often, but I kind of like knowing it's there.
Yeah. I think their Starbucks inside generates more than that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, it gets people in the door, and if they do a good job getting the good books in front, maybe people will buy one. So anyway, next on my list, I'm pretty sure this is one that you'll agree with me. And it's one, they used to have a store near me, and then that went out of business. I know that these people still have a website. I imagine they maybe still have brick and mortar stores in other places, but not near me, so I added it to the list, and that's Tiger Direct. There used to be a Tiger Direct very close to where I used to live, and then they went out of business. And you know, that basically the same story as many of these other stores. They were the type of stores where you just go every once in a while. Like Tiger Direct, if I ever needed to upgrade my computer, where I was buying all the individual parts, then that's the place where I would go. That's a place where I knew for a fact that I could get a motherboard, a CPU, RAM, all that stuff, and have a good selection of it. At Best Buy, some Best Buys you can go and get a motherboard, CPU, and all that, but their selection is usually very, very weak. So, but yeah, Tiger Direct, it was a fun store to go hang out, buy individual components like that. Prices were never the best though, which is weird because usually the online store, the prices are pretty good. Service kind of sucked. I cannot remember having an issue at one point. I think it was also an issue with a return. But I don't remember the specifics of it. But I think the return policy kind of sucked also. So,
yeah, probably like if it was there was a slight tear on the packaging, they couldn't read it.
Yeah, a lot of these stores they tend to have horrible return policies. I know GameStop is the one that is usually pretty bad. How do you feel about Tiger Direct?
Well, yeah, I really liked it. Kind of like you said, it's not a place you would go like too often, because like how often do you upgrade your computer?
I mean, they had other stuff. They had like laptops and other stuff, but
it was one of those things where you would hit up Best Buy first.
Exactly.
Then if there was absolutely nothing,
if Best Buy didn't have it, you're like, should we check Tiger Direct?
Sure. Like we have time, let's just go browse.
Yeah.
No, because it's like, especially I really like there because especially when to get the towers, you can kind of look at them.
Yeah.
Like in Amazon
online,
you
can't look. They always give you the dimensions, but those don't mean shit to me. Like
like what does that mean? Like so I really like that about Tiger Direct, that you can see the towers. Like you get to actually see it, and then you can buy it online. From Tiger. No.
I used to do that. I used to do the whole. Look at it at the store and buy it on Amazon. But then the stores became smart and they started price matching.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if Target Direct used to price match or not, but like I was saying, many times we would go to Best Buy first, and that is because for the most part, the customer service at Best Buy is better.
Yeah.
They have a better selection of most electronic things that we would be interested in, and their customer service is, how do I put it, they're usually not the smartest, the most knowledgeable. They're not the most competent on any specific field, but they'll try. They'll try.
They'll hit you with the and then they just read you what the box says.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, this TV here, it's got 4K resolution, and it's got the Dolby Atmos.
Yeah, like that's what it says in the box. I can read that too. Like, what does that mean?
Oh, it's just better colors.
It's more better.
It's more better. So. But yeah, then Tiger Direct, even though it had a lot of the same stuff, it was still, I don't know, like walking in there was a totally different experience.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to pinpoint what it was, but totally different experience. But I do hate the fact that right now, if I want to upgrade a computer, my options are Best Buy or Amazon.
Or there's a Milwaukee PC just like up the block here.
Hell no. Hell no. Milwaukee PCs, well, I haven't been to a Milwaukee PC in forever, but just looking at their price list, I'm like, these guys are crazy.
Is there a Milwaukee PC in somewhere else?
No, I don't think.
No, but for real, about the RAM, like for example, Crucial RAM. That's like the cheapest RAM, like one of the cheapest brands you can get.
Y is probably the cheapest, but yeah.
But anyways, like if you go to the website, you can get let's say you can get 2 sticks of RAM, like 2 8 gig sticks for like $100. Let's just say throw that number. I don't even know if that's the right number.
Yeah.
And then if you go to Milwaukee PC, they sell that for like 200.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the?
Their prices are crazy. I don't know who goes there. Maybe businesses that. Honestly, I don't know who the hell goes to Milwaukee PC. I don't know who even sends their computer.
How are they not out of business?
I don't know, man. Must be a front,
like, right? Like, although I did go there a couple of times just because I really needed then what is it called, the fan, the CPU fan?
Yeah.
And they had it at a good price. So sometimes they have things at a good price.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So
at Milwaukee at a place like Milwaukee PC, you actually have the people that kind of know a thing or two about the PC,
and they think you're stupid.
Yeah, they make you feel stupid. The way you make Best Buy employees feel stupid, those guys try to make you feel stupid. Like, oh, you want that? You don't want that. You want this other one. That one's shit.
Like you really gotta be on your game. Like I remember once I went there, I'm like, I'm looking for a RAM. And they're like, what kind of RAM are you looking for?
A computer.
And I was like, I need some DDR3 R8336. He's like,
yeah, like they expect you to know all this shit. Yeah.
So like, if you don't know that, they're like, well, I can't help you. You look it up. Like, dude, like you douche.
So anyway, that's why I wish Tiger Direct was.
Well, kind of piggyback on that because mine was kind of similar to that. Was CompUSA. That was one of the which is the same thing. It was probably not as good as Tiger Direct. It was probably weaker in terms of like selection and price.
I had completely forgotten about CompUSA, and part of me wonders if it wasn't Tiger Direct CompUSA. Like, didn't CompUSA become? I think there was something like that.
Actually, I do think that Tiger Direct probably bought CompUSA or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
but in Milwaukee there was a CompUSA.
It was in Brookfield. That's the only one I knew. We was and the only we would go there and they had some pretty interesting. I remember the first time
it was basically the same thing. That was like the last option.
Yeah. The thing is, like with CompUSA, that's the first time I ever saw a Mac. Like in person.
Ooh.
Well, not in person because I saw Macs in school. Yeah. But like that's like the first time I saw like a Mac outside of school that I thought like, oh, you can actually buy this, and it was that weird one, that Mac that it was like a little half semicircle or semi globe, and then it was basically the iMac, but it was just so weird.
Oh, okay, yeah. The iMac. Yeah, it was one of the not iMac. It was a Mac Pro, wasn't it? But
yeah, but like the computer was inside the stand.
Yeah, it was like a circle, and there was like the monitor came.
Yeah,
there was a stick.
So I remember seeing that. I'm like, what kind of witchcraft is this? Because you would think, oh, the PC is just this big box, ugly as hell, but
it had an interesting design.
Yeah, it had. I always wanted one of those. I'm pretty sure it probably only had like 512 megabytes of RAM.
Or less.
Yeah. So yeah. What is it? CompUSA.
CompUSA. Yeah.
So for same reasons as Tiger Direct, just more of a side, like what's it called? Like
just to have another
plan
option.
B.
Yeah, plan B.
No, that's actually like plan C.
It was Best Buy. The game has changed.
Yeah, and
then CompUSA. All right. So moving on. My next one is going to be, and this is a dumb one, Woolworth.
That's is that a local one or is that an actual national?
No, that was an actual brand. That was actual national thing. Woolworth or however you spell
Woolworth, it. Yeah. That was the original Walmart before Walmart.
I'm not sure what I would compare Woolworth to today. Is it almost like a Family Dollar?
Family Dollar, but like maybe like more.
Yeah.
Because I know the Woolworth that was in Milwaukee that we knew of became a Family Dollar.
No, that became a Rainbow. That building where the rainbow is.
Are you talking about Mitchell?
Yeah, Mitchell.
I'm talking about the one on 27th and
okay.
National.
No, I'm talking about Mitchell.
We're talking real local right now. But yeah, that became a rainbow. Yeah, the one on Mitchell. I don't even think Rainbow exists anymore, but
I don't know. I don't know if it's still there.
I haven't driven by that street in a while.
I never went to it, so it's not on my list. But so anyway, Woolworth. Here's the thing that I remember from Woolworth. No, not even that. For me, like at that location on Mitchell Street, I used to always go straight downstairs, and that's where they had the pets. You know, the fish, the hamsters. So yeah, it was like a little pet shop, and it was horrible because they kept selling me all these pets that would eventually die, because I was young and I didn't know how to take care of anything. Apparently, they needed food, but no. Joking aside, the food and everything you could just buy right there, and you know it was. Which again, I know that I could just go to any pet shop and get the same, but you know there was something about it that was special for me anyway. But I still feel that this is actually one where if it was still around, it would probably do okay, because they used to sell just random shit like.
Yeah, like I remember going to Woolworths and they had like during Christmas time they had like toys. And it was like very cheap toys, right? Like just like cheap plastics. It was like these jumbo planes that they were pretty big, and you can fit your action figures in there. So I always wanted one of those, and the only place that sold them was Woolworth. Okay. And so I don't know if I got one. I think I did.
I never saw them because I would just go straight to the pets.
Yeah, so like during Christmas time, I would always go there with, just like 2 years before they closed down, because I think it was only 2 years we came to Milwaukee, and then they closed down after that. Like, okay. So it was like only like the first 2 years.
Oh, I came in '89, so I had a few years of that.
Yeah, so I think they closed down pretty. I would actually like to research when they went out of business, but. Yeah. Should have done that before, I guess, but
yeah, bro, you could do it after.
Yeah, and and if you want to know, you can follow me on Real GXP,
or you could Google it yourself.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, they should come to us for that useless information.
So anyway, yeah, that's Woolworth. Yeah, I used to do that at every store that had any kind of hamsters or gerbils or whatever. I was okay going there because I knew that I was gonna go straight to them, and you know. I was happy. Like my mom and my dad could go spend whatever time at the store. If they had hamsters, fish, and shit like that, I was good. So anyway, what's next on your list?
Okay, on my list, I don't know if I should go with the which one should I save for the last. But I guess I'll go with Radio Shack.
I love how you're looking at your phone, but there's nothing on it.
That's because I'm imagining my list that I had there.
So Radio Shack.
Radio Shack. Is that even around? No, that's out of business, right? Completely. Are there still some in the malls? There might. Anyways,
there might. It's basically out of business. Let's just call it.
Yeah. So like that was like the plan D. So like if nothing else worked, like if you were looking for some weird wire. Like especially if you were looking for some like an AC adapter, okay, some weird one, and they had like this the AC brick, and then they had these different wires you can connect, and they're like, oh, which one's your machine? They would try which one would work, and then they would cut the wire and connect it, and it was pretty interesting. So they would actually like kind of like find the correct adapter for you. But like, yeah, that's like a place where you really, if you just needed something weird, weird connection, you know, you would go there and you probably would find it.
I would say Radio Shack probably wasn't even a plan. It was more like an afterthought, like, oh yeah, Radio Shack, may as well try it because otherwise I'm screwed.
I think what Radio Shack was especially the one where we used to go to, there was a Blockbuster. Then we would go to Blockbuster, like, oh, there's a Radio Shack there.
Okay.
Do you need anything? Like, oh yeah, I think I need that wire.
See, you would go there. Radio Shacks for me was basically the Batteries Plus because it was the place where if I had any battery that was not a AA, triple A, B, C, D.
Yeah, it's true.
Was there a B? No, I didn't use B's. B is a weird. Anyway, any of those little round ones that go in watches or whatever, Radio Shack was the place to go, and I knew that I could find it at Radio Shack. There was a small time when I was into electronics because I was in college taking an electronics course. It was like one semester because that didn't go well. Anyway, so it became even more fun to go to Radio Shack back then because I was like, oh yeah, this is a resistor, this is and I know what to do with them too.
Yeah.
Back then I knew what to do with them. Now I look at I remember one day I found my notes that I took in school, and I was like, "What the hell was all this?"
You're drawing you were so close to designing the first iPhone.
Probably, no, but I didn't know what any of that meant. But yeah, Radio Shack was like I said, kind of an afterthought. Like you would always be like, "Oh yeah, Radio Shack. I should have gone there. Maybe they had it." Like,
and it's funny because I actually got like a cell phone there. Like they would sell like contracted phones back when you would do like the 2-year contracts. Okay. And they had a pretty good deal. Like it was the Motorola Photon for Sprint.
All right.
And I remember getting in there, and it was a pretty decent price. And I was like, I didn't even know Radio Shack provided cell phones.
They used to sell toys too. Like they had little remote control cars and gifts like that. It was all right.
Yeah, especially during the holiday season. So Radio Shack, if it's still around, then
sorry, but you won't be for long. So that's messed up.
I applied for Radio Shack once to work. Me and Nestor, my brother, we went and we actually went to the job interview. Enough to say we didn't get hired.
Then screw them. No,
I guess we weren't good enough salesmen.
You want them to come back just so that they can hire you,
right?
Finish the application.
Yeah, finish
the job. The job.
It was a bad deal because it's like when we did the interview, one of the things they said was the smaller the item, the more commission you get. So the more you sell those little pieces of useless tech, the more you would get. Like the bigger price things, you would get less commission because they wouldn't make that much money. So they really made the money on the small stuff.
See, that's one thing I did hate about Radio Shack. Like those guys were kind of pushy.
Yeah,
they wanted you to buy certain stuff.
Yeah, that's why they would sell those things because they would make more money on those things.
Anyway, last on my list. I have, it's actually 2, but I decided to put them together because they were very much similar. And I want to say that one of these is technically still around and I hate it, but I'm not totally sure. And that's Babbage's and Funkoland.
I think Babbage's only exist in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. But in the U.S., I think they're completely bought out by GameStop, I think.
That's what I mean, like. I think one of them became GameStop.
Yeah.
Or maybe both became GameStop.
Maybe, because like Funkoland was like the OG, like one of the original ones. I remember like all the commercials about, you say Funkoland, right?
Yeah.
It was like one of the original ones. And I remember going in there and they would have the systems out. And you'll be able to play all the different games and stuff like that. So yeah, Funkoland. Like to me, like Funkoland compared to like now, it's because I remember being able to have tournaments there. They would have tournaments and a lot of stuff like that. I think that's why they went out of business. They probably weren't making enough money. It was just a bunch of high schoolers going into their shops and playing video games all day.
I was looking up information on GameStop and. It does say that EB Games, it says the GameStop, the company's retail stores primarily operate under the GameStop, EB Games, Think Geek, and Micromania brands. So I didn't even know that Think Geek was GameStop. Anyway, So yeah, again, for the same reasons as the other stores, I just like having options.
Yeah.
And I hate GameStop. So when I can't find a game at Best Buy, I don't even think of GameStop as a possible option. So, plus at the mall, it was always fun to go to the mall and go into a Babbage's or a Funkoland and shit like that, But then I'm like, I don't even go to the mall anymore. So, yeah. Do people go to malls?
Yeah, I mean, I do teenagers still go to mall to just hang out?
I don't know. Like, I used to almost be a mall rat back in the day, But back in the day, I remember, you went to a mall, especially during Christmas. It was always so decorated, and there was, Christmas music playing, and sometimes you would even have live bands playing Christmas songs. Maybe there are still malls, because I know my friend Priscilla was telling me that, like the malls in her area still do some of that stuff. But at least the malls in my area don't do any of that.
I'm pretty sure Mayfair does.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I go to a mall like now is just to actually just to get shoes.
Yeah.
Because I actually like to see the actual shoes before I buy it. But like clothes and stuff, I buy online. So like I don't really go to the malls for that. Or the only other reason I go there is to get a Cinnabon or something. Cinnabon.
I hope that I never ever have to add Cinnabon to the list.
Nah, that's always packed when I get there. So hopefully
Cinnabon can't go out of business.
They can't go out of business.
Although Krispy Kremes is, I don't know, they're not out of business, but they sure closed a whole lot of them. But that'll be another episode when we talk about things, restaurants or fast food.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it's just the location. Like certain locations just do a lot better. Like especially when you're in Chicago, those
remember the
Chicago people are a lot more snobby about their donuts.
The Krispy Kreme we used to go to was always like 24/7 busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they barely even turn on the hot and fresh sign.
The thing is, I don't know if it's because it's busted, but once I went there and the light wasn't on, so I was kind of disappointed. But when I went there, like they were actually hot and fresh. So I'm like, okay, do you just not try anymore and let people know that you have that's 2 cents a day. We can't turn on the light.
Because it was awesome. You would walk in and they would give you one fresh donut straight out of the rack, man.
Yeah, and you would just put it all in your mouth.
You put it all in your mouth and it melts like butter in your mouth. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of my list. What's your...
All right, so my main event.
Your main event.
The last but not least is one that we've talked about plenty of times before, and that is the good old Toys R Us. Fresh from bankruptcy.
That one's fresh in the list.
And I know that some investors want to bring it back, but I'm like, okay, maybe you do bring it back. It's going to be a tough road back. Unless you listen to our podcast and you do exactly what we said.
The previous podcast where we were giving all kinds of ideas.
Yeah.
You should listen to that one.
Corporate advice, because, we're consultants, so not officially.
I'm not sure that a store that only sells toys can be successful,
Well, that's why they should do more than toys.
Exactly. They should become...
sex toys.
I was gonna say they should become a Best Buy competitor. Like have your toys, have a nice selection of toys. That's fine.
And adult toys like computers.
Exactly, adult toys.
And they should name it adult toys.
Adult toy section. Oh, here's the computers, the laptops, and the
so you can
teen toys.
It has 16-inch RAM.
Okay. So, I'm trying to save this one.
Because it's like a big motherboard.
So, Toys R Us. They always had the video game section, but then for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just their marketing or what, but I never even thought of Toys R Us when it came to buying a game. Or actually, a couple of times I did think of Toys R Us, but only because I was already in the parking lot, and maybe Best Buy, because where I used to live there was a Best Buy, and then a little bit in the same lot there was a Toys R Us. So there were a couple of times where Best Buy didn't have something, so I was like, I guess I'll go check it out. But I don't know. I didn't like going into Toys R Us because right away, at least on this one, you would go in and it's all these toys, and it's all these different toys all over the place, and for me it's uncomfortable. Like, where do I go? Like, it's not very clearly labeled and whatnot. So then I had to go all the way to the other side to find the video game section, and it was always like a little area. And I want to say they always kept everything behind lock, which right away that kind of bugs me, because I'm like,
all the video games were behind lock.
like come on, like,
yeah.
I don't know. It makes it annoying, because now if I want the video game, now I have to go hunt down somebody to come and open the damn thing for me, and then they always want you to check out right there in front. Like come on.
Like, I was just thinking how it seems like Best Buy is really trying to get into the toy business. Like, if you go into Best Buy, they have like a whole section like in a corner with just like toys.
Yeah, they have a lot of.
So what if
type toys,
Best Buy buys the name Toys R Us, and then they can just call that section the Toys R Us section? You know how they have the Apple Store in the...
Yeah, but those are... They actually rent those spaces to Apple and Samsung and Windows and Google. So... They should... Like, Toys R Us should have little kiosks all over the place. Yeah, that could work.
Or they can just... KB Toys is probably a cheaper name. They can just buy KB Toys and have the KB Toys section. I was going to put that on the list, but I'm like, Toys R Us is a bigger store, so I'll just put Toys R Us.
KB Toys, well, that was always in the malls, though, right?
Yeah, so it was a lot. Like, I really like KB Toys because it was like, they had like cool action figure section. Like, I was really big into action figures. Like now, like, obviously I'm not, but...
So basically, today's list basically has taught us that if these stores are not here, it's mostly because we didn't go there. Yeah. Because we would always go to Best Buy instead.
I would go to Toys R Us as a plan B.
See, I never did. And again, I cannot specifically tell you why, but in my mind, that just wasn't the place. And I don't know if it's just me.
You probably didn't have a need to go to a toy place as much.
No, I didn't have a need to go to a toy place, but like I said, they sold plenty of other things that I did like. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, but definitely, I think what you said.
I think it is because in my mind, Toys R Us was toys.
Yeah,
like toys. Little kids' toys. Even though I knew that they had video games, I'm like, no, it's a toy place. I'm not going there.
Yeah, because I think I think that would have helped out if they really would have focus a lot of their energy on the electronic parts and remodel their
market, because all their marketing was always also all about toys. Bless you.
Although one thing I will say about Toys R Us is that they did have like good deals on a video game. Sometimes they would have like a 2 for something sale, but the problem is when you go there, you would have to hunt that person down. And that would just annoy you and be like, man, let's just go to Best Buy.
Yeah. And again, to me, it was a lot of their marketing. They marketed always, even their stupid little jingle was all like about kids. So, like, don't blame me if in my mind you're all about kids only.
Yeah.
When that's all you advertising.
Yeah, because it's like... The kids that you used to say I don't want to grow up, they eventually grew up.
Yeah,
and you didn't cater to them. To the ones who had the fondest memories of your company.
Correct.
You ignore them. So and I think what you said would have been perfect, because like as you grow up, you want to do more computers and stuff like that. So they would have reduced a little bit of the toys and put more of the focus on the electronics. I think they could have probably done something.
Here's a little secret, guys. Kids, they don't work. They don't have money. You got to cater to the ones that do work. You know, you got to cater to the parents. Find a reason for them to go into the Toys R Us. Maybe have like a little daycare where you can put the kids having fun while you go shopping and put everything in the car, then come back and pick them up. You know, something like that.
They should have done it like IKEA, where they have like little seats you can, and then you know you can just chill out to work on a computer. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up right now.
All right. So that is the end of this podcast, because that is the end of our list, and we already went over by 15 minutes.
There's no such thing as over.
It's a podcast. No one cares.
Yeah. You just turn it off. It's too long.
When you get bored, you turn it off. Yeah. But no, we are done. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If there are any stores that you are thinking of that you're like, hey, how come they didn't mention this one? Hey, maybe we totally forgot. Maybe it's a store that we never went to. There were some stores that I was like, huh. Like I kept seeing, because I was looking at a list of stores, because I was like, I'm sure there's stores that I'm not thinking about. And I kept seeing, what was it, Sharper Image. Yeah. And I'm like, I could have sworn that I've seen Sharper Image at the mall, but apparently they're no longer at the mall. They do have Sharper Image products. Uh-huh. Like somebody bought the name and they're still making products, but there is no Sharper Image store. Another one that was worth mentioning that I thought of mentioning, but I'm like, I never went there, was the Warner Brothers Studio store. Yeah. And the music one, Sound Goody. Sound Goody.
Like, there's a reason why those are out.
Yeah, like, you know,
they would really have to change.
Even Columbia House didn't make it. Okay,
yeah. Like they really had to really change their model if they wanted to survive.
Yeah. So, yet, what's the one that has always been at the mall where it's got all kinds of random shit? That one's still around.
Fire.
No.
Man, I know they have one here.
Yeah. Sanies is no.
I forgot.
Anyway, you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah. It's got they're always at the mall. They always have all kinds of random stuff. It's always a big mess there. Yeah. Yet they haven't gone out of business. Somehow it works for them. Anyway, this has been Stuff, aka Javier. I don't know. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RealStuffHD. You can follow Mr. Equis here at
L.Equis on the Instagram, L_Equis on the tweets.
You can send me an email at stuff@stuffhd.com. Or again, send me a private message on any of those social medias. Check out stuffhd.com for more information on everything Stuff HD. I just recently redid the webpage. Let me know what you think of it. I kind of like it better. I think it's nicer. Like it. It's nicer, cleaner. So, yeah. All right. That is all. We're out of here. You'll take care. Bye.